Joy Guru.
Joy Guru.
This is Banyan Roots, a podcast series about musical mystics of West Bengal, India, and Bangladesh known as the Baul or Fakir.
Their philosophy defies definition but has been influenced by many faiths that have taken roots in Bengal.
Like how one banyan tree's dangling roots are actually comprised of many different species of tree all interwoven together and reaching for soil.
Sufism, Vaishnavism, and Vajrayana Buddhism all made their way into this still evolving tradition.
I am Lucia Thomas.
And I am Shubhajit Sengupta.
We'll be your hosts.
And translators.
And I'm also the violinist on this show. We'll be sharing my own live recordings of songs and discussions that I collected while playing, traveling, and living with the Baul in villages throughout West Bengal, India.
The Baul often explore a theme during these music sessions, each song digging deeper into a question. Following their example, today we'll be exploring Dehotattva, the theory of the body.
In the last episode, most of the song lyrics represented Deho, the body, as a cage containing an unknown bird, the Achin Pakhi. The songs you'll hear today will represent the body as well, but using the metaphor of Ghor, or the house. This body is, of course, our house from our first breath to our last. And in the Baul path, it is of utmost importance to get to know this house well.
বেঁধেছে এমন ঘর শূন্যের ওপর পোস্তা করে ধন্য ধন্য বলি তারে বেঁধেছে এমন ঘর বেঁধেছে এমন ঘর শূন্যের ওপর পোস্তা করে ধন্য ধন্য
Singing are the students of Babu Fakir, who started off our last episode. Babuda has 40 students or so who he teaches for free every week. They come from different villages throughout the Nodia region, and their parents are all very poor.
In this recording, Babuda's students are playing an instrument called harmonium, which is a reeded keyboard instrument from Indian subcontinent. And also you can hear the sounds of dhol, which is a large two-sided drum.
Their teacher, Babuda, is playing an instrument called Dotara, which means 2 strings, but it actually has 3 to 5 or even more depending on the region. We could call it the Bengali banjo. It has a single-piece wooden body, often with a bird for the scroll at the end of the neck. Babuda is using nylon strings, so his dotara sounds very warm and earthy. The lyrics go, I will sing praises to the one who tied together this house, polishing upon the floor of nothing. There is only one pillar, whose base meets no soil. How will the house remain upright when the storms come raging? The last verse said, the base of the root is the 9th chamber, and at the very top is the attic. A crazy kid is sitting up there, the god of himself. This song, Dhonno Dhonno, is by the Baul saint Lalon Fakir, whose song Kachar Pitor Achin Paki we heard last time. The lyrics paint a surreal, almost Dali-like picture of a house with a floor of nothingness, with this void holding the base of the one pillar supporting the whole structure of 9.5 doors and a crazy kid calling himself god of the place. It seems like some bizarre dream, but each of these images are actually a very precise description of a place in the body, and it can be used as a guide for meditation. While there isn't scholarly consensus as to the origin of the Baul, many believe that their practice grew out of Vajrayana Buddhism.
So Buddhism flourished in northeast India during Pal Empire from about 8th to 12th century, and Bengal was an epicenter for Buddhist art and culture. When I was growing up in our Bengali literature class, we read few poems from a text called Chorjapad. This is probably the oldest text written in Bengali language. The language used in that was probably very different from the language that we speak now. So it's kind of difficult to understand some of the poems.
Chorjapad is a collection of many poems written by various poets or composers. Listed next to each poem in that text is the raga or scale in which the poem is to be sung. Many of the images are nature-based and allude to specific meditations, but the metaphors are all so cryptic. Some say this encoding was in order to not share the teachings with the uninitiated, and others say that it was to avoid persecution for their spiritual practice.
Buddhism started to decline in India in about 12th century for many different reasons.
One reason was that the Brahmins, the upper caste Hindus, became more influential in the political sphere and brought Buddhist philosophy under the umbrella of Hinduism.
Also, let's not discount the factor of Islamification because Islam came to Bengal around 13th century, so many people probably got converted by that process.
Right, but beyond simple conversion, there was also an interweaving of faiths. Ideas from these very different spiritual paths were exchanged and shared. Many people think that the Baul were originally Vajrayana Buddhists who went underground. They hid their practice by also worshipping Hindu gods, presenting as Baul, or Allah and other Muslim saints, presenting as fakirs.
Let's listen to a song from this 1,000-year-old Buddhist text, Chorjapad, and let's see if we can find any similarities with any Baul or Fakir songs.
Luipa is the first poet of the Chorjapad. He described the feature of the body-centric sadhana following Guru's instruction. It is the Chorjapad 1. We have discovered that at least 2 of the Chorya poets lives in ancient Sompur Bihar situated in the north part of Bangladesh. So we follow very ancient tune from North Bengal of Bangladesh for singing the first Chorjapad, Kaya Torubor Ponchobital. The body is an excellent tree, 5 only are the branches, time, entrance, and study mind.
That was Simon Zakaria introducing, and Shadika Srijoni will now sing the first song of Chorjapad, which is written by Luipad.
Kaya Torubar Panchabida Chanchal Jiye Poitho Kalore Chanchal Jiye Poda Alore Kaya Torubar Panchabida Chanchal Jiye
full song translation will go. The body is like the finest tree with 5 branches. Darkness enters the restless mind. Strengthen the quantity of great bliss, says Louis. Learn from asking the Guru. Why does one meditate? Surely one dies of happiness or unhappiness. Set aside binding and fastening and false hope. Embrace the wings of the void. Louis says, I have seen this in meditation. Inhalation and exhalation are seated on 2 stools.
We met Srijoni and Simon here in Chicago when they were on tour and performed at the South Asia Institute downtown.
Simon and Srijoni have been helping to grow a community of sadhus, or spiritual practitioners in Dhaka, Bangladesh, who sing songs from the Charjapad text. The philosophy of those ancient poems is very similar to the Baul philosophy. In this song, we can notice the emphasis on following a guru, a teacher. There's the image of the wings of the void, like how in Lalon's songs, the bird is the breath. There's a refrain of releasing attachments and false hope in order to achieve freedom. These ideas are all so familiar, but the crazy thing is that the original Charjapad text was actually totally lost to India for centuries.
Yes, it was not until Haraprasad Shastri rediscovered the ancient palm leaf manuscript back in 1907 in Nepal. It had been preserved there for hundreds of years before being reintroduced to Bengal.
It is amazing that this Bengali poetry book was preserved in Nepal, but perhaps more amazing is that the hidden messages contained in those songs were preserved in Bengal, but without anything written down. The text was lost, but not the practice, and people continued to compose songs in this manner for centuries without pen and paper.
Many of the Baul practitioners were village folk without access to formal educations, and same goes for the teachers as well.
And perhaps these meditations and way of life were not accepted by Hindu or Islamic societies of that time, and the teachings maybe were destroyed if they were written down. For whatever reason, teachers encoded their meditations in metaphorical songs, which they taught orally in direct Guru Shishyo Parampara, or a teacher-disciple lineage. For centuries, they practiced this way, keeping their meditations and their way of life intact. Let's hear the end of that Lalon song we started off with, Dhonno Dhonno. The last verse of Dhonno Dhonno will go, above to below, stacked row after row, are 9.5 doors. Lalon says I would go, but which door opens to the house? was Supriya Poddar and the students of Babu Fakir singing a song by Lalon Fakir called Dhonno Dhonno. To really understand the symbols of this song, or any of these songs really, you'll need to take a guru. But for a taste, we'll tell you a few of the more obvious and less disputed metaphors.
Ghor, meaning room or house, is a symbol for Deho, or the body. In the Chorjapad song that you just heard, the body was a tree with 5 branches. The Baul worshipped the body and believed that the whole truth of the universe is hidden within the body.
Ek Kuti, the one pillar of this house, is the spine. Like the Ektara's tuned string, if the spine is grounded straight and strong, then the storms cannot knock over the house. But this pillar is rooted in the void. Babuda once asked me, "What grows out of nothing?" I answered that we ourselves grow out of nothing, and he smiled. The spine is the necessary channel for bringing energy up from the root to the crown, so you'll hear many references to this kuti or pillar.
Muladhar, or the root chakra, is located at the base of the spine. All the way up in the attic is our mind, where the crazy kid is always chattering away. The doors refers to the 9 orifices of the body.
And women have an extra half door. While we will not go much into this theme, some advanced Baul meditations are practiced with a sexual partner. Baul loved to sing songs about sexual practice and to talk about those meditations that require semen retention. It seems to be a "how Baul are you" sort of boasting game, which many Baul I meet, regardless of integrity of practice, very much enjoy playing.
But Lalon himself says that these practices are very difficult and dangerous, and one must have guru to learn the right way.
So, to keep this podcast more accessible, we have mostly avoided those songs. But it is like avoiding cumin seeds in Bengali curry. This concept is everywhere, because an important goal for the Baul lies beyond that 9.5th door.
আপন নয় তারা যদি যত্ন করে রাখো পাহারা কুজন হবে সুজনা ঘর নিয়ে ঘরামির যত যন্ত্রণা ঘর চেনা হলো না জানা হলো না বোঝা গেল না ঘর নিয়ে ঘরামির যত যন্ত্রণা
Anath Bondhu Ghosh is singing, "The people of your house may not be your own. If you hold them too tight, bad people may become your friends. The house builder has many troubles with this house. This house you didn't know, you didn't recognize, you didn't understand."
ছাওয়ানো বড় দায় আলগা করে হলে চাল বেশি দিন রবে না আবার এই মাটিতে জল পড়িলে পচন ধরবে ধরবে যন্ত্রণা ঘরে নিয়ে ঘরামির যত যন্ত্রণা এ ঘর জানা হলো না চেনা হলো না বোঝা গেল না ঘর নিয়ে ঘরামির যত যন্ত্রণা
The last verse went, "To make a shade is a big task. If it is just a bit loose, the roof won't last. And if the clay floor gets the dripping water, it will become ruined and miserable. The house builder has many troubles with this house." The next verse will go. Anonymous says under the Tomal tree, "At the feet of Shudhir Kepa. At that time you didn't tell me about the house. Now tell me. I am burning to death. Still the people of my house have not become my friend."
অনামিকায় বসে তমাল তলে সুধীর খেপার চরণ মূলে 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 অনামিকায় বসে তমাল তলে সুধীর খেপার চরণ তলে এই ঘরের কথা তখন গেলে না বলে এখন দাও বলে ঘরে মোলাম জ্বলে ঘরের মানুষ কটায় আমার বন্ধু এখনো হলো না ঘর নিয়ে ঘরামির যত যন্ত্রণা এ ঘর জানা হলো না চেনা হলো না বোঝা গেল না ওরে ঘর নিয়ে ঘরামির হলো যন্ত্রণা লক্ষণ ঘর নিয়ে ঘরামির অনাথের আগুনে কঠিন জ্বলন আরে ঘর নিয়ে ঘরামির হলো যন্ত্র
Singing his own composition is the legend Anath Bondhu Ghosh himself, though he hardly makes such an appearance. While many Bauls perform in colorful vests atop traditional orange kurtas, beaded garlands, and a headscarf to show their authenticity, Anath Bondhu just wears a loose and faded collared shirt, oversized slacks, and an unkempt beard, a crooked yet radiant smile while squinting through his two blind eyes. His singing follows his enthusiasm and brilliance. He incorporates many elements of Hindustani classical music while staying rooted in the folk wisdom of the Baul within his lyrics.
In this song, the composer as well as the singer is describing the pain that comes from not knowing ourselves properly. Despite living in this house, this body, for so long, we have not gotten to know all the corners of the room. Can we ever finish exploring this house? What happens to the house if some bad elements enter inside? It's very important to keep the house pure and clean with strong devotion.
This song is an important lesson to me on the dangers of placing too much importance on our thoughts and emotions. The last song of Lalon's talked about the crazy kid in the attic who thinks himself God. Our emotions are like this. We get angry or sad, and it feels like that emotion has all the power over us, or even that that emotion is the truth. But as Anath Bondhu Ghosh says, these people in your house may not be your own, and if you hold them too tight, bad people will become your friend. Like a roof with a leak, water always comes to spoil the same place in the house. So my mind, tossed around by thoughts, will spiral around emotions and take many days or even months to get out of a rut. But if I can simply watch my thoughts, I notice how utterly illogical and even dangerous they are. It then becomes so obvious that these thoughts don't have anything to do with who I am or what is even happening in the present moment, and thus they can pass much more quickly. Make your roof tight and water won't seep in.
Next, we will hear another song that talks about the Ghorami, the house builder. The song is called Amar Bhanga Ghore, written by Kingshuk Goshai and sung by Robidas Baul, our beloved Robida.
ও ছাদের বৈষ্ণবী ও ছাদের বৈষ্ণবী লো বৈষ্ণবী আমারে ভাঙা ঘরে মনতে
The lyrics go, "Oh beloved Vaishnavi, my soul won't stay in this broken house. What can I do?"
ও দেখ দেখ ভাঙা ঘরে
See, moonlight shines through holes in the roof,
এই ভাঙা ঘরে চাঁদের আলো
and water leaks in, drop after drop.
ও সদাই জল পড়ে টিপি টিপি
আমার ভাঙা ঘরে মন টেকে না করি কি ভাঙা ঘরে মন টেকে না করি কি ও সাদের বৈষ্ণবী ও সাদের বৈষ্ণবী লো বৈষ্ণবী ভাঙা ঘরে মন টেকে না করি কি আমার ভাঙা ঘরে মন টেকে না করি কি ও দেখ দেখ ভাঙা ঘরে দেখ দেখ ভাঙা ঘরে চাঁদের আলো ও সদাই জল পড়ে টিপি টিপি ভাঙা ঘরে মন টেকে না করি কি আমার ভাঙা ঘরে মন টেকে না করি কি
This is Robidash Baul singing a song by King Shuk Goshai while playing komok. It is a wild instrument shaped like an open barrel, with the bass being a skin with 2 strings attached. Those 2 strings are attached to a handle and hang completely limp until that handle is pulled taut. In pulling the handle taut, you can adjust the pitch of the strings, which aren't grounded in anything. Many of my bandmates hate it when I play this instrument because I lose my rational mind completely in the crazy abandon of the komok. Robida was my first Baul teacher and friend when I lived in Shantiniketan in 2019. He has a small clay ashram outside his tin-roofed house, surrounded by vegetable gardens. At that time, people would come to his house nearly every day to sing and discuss songs. I became a regular of their crew, and while at the time I understood very little Bengali, and they spoke no English, I felt perfectly at home in the music and their easy company.
এ ঘরের মূল দুটি খুঁটি ও মজার কি পরিপাটি দেখো ৮ কুটুরি ৯ দরজা জ্বলিছে বাতি
This house has 2 pillars and is kept so tidy and neat. There are 8 chambers and 9 doors, and there is a light lit within.
এ ঘরের মূল দুটি খুঁটি মজার কি পরিপাটি দেখো ৮ কুটুরি ৯ দরজা জ্বলিছে বাতি আবার মনি কোটাই গুণ ধরে
But termites are eating away at the safe, leaving wood chips strewn about the room.
আবার মনি কোটাই গুণ ধরেছে এ ঘরের ছন্ন বন্য দেয় কাটি ভাঙা ঘরে মন টেকে না করি কি আমার ভাঙা ঘরে মন টেকে না করি কি
The house of this song has 2 pillars, while the house Lalon described only had 1. So I asked Robida what these could mean, as obviously a body wouldn't have 2 spines.
আমার তো মনে হয় এই ঘরের মূল দুটো খুঁটি মানে
I believe this room has 2 pillars means the coming and going that we all have.
আর নিগম
Agam, in breath, and nigam, out breath.
যদি ছেড়ে দেয় তাহলে তো সবকিছু শেষ
If you leave this, then everything is finished, isn't it?
দুটি আমাদের
So our whole existence is resting on these 2 pillars, the breath coming in and out. We heard about the 8 chambers and 9 doors in the earlier episode, as King Shuk Goshai is probably referencing Lalon Fakir's song, Khachar Bhitor Ochin Pakhi. The 8 chambers were different parts of the body, and 9 doors being the body's orifices.
The light within is perhaps the consciousness or knowledge passed on from the Guru, but there are termites eating away at the safe. I certainly witnessed this in my own mind, as I forget memories or intentions I had kept tucked away, but somehow they just disappear. Something is eating away at these precious gems.
বৈষ্ণবী সত্য কথা কই
Vaishnavi, I'm telling the truth.
হরামির দেখা হলো
I still couldn't find that house builder.
চার এক ফোঁটাতে মানুষ গোটা খেপারি ৯ দরজায়
In one drop is a whole person with 9 doors.
বৈষ্ণবী সত্য কথা ঘরামির দেখা হলো কই যার এক ফোঁটাতে মানুষ গোটা নয় দরজায় অদম তুমসু কহে নে না তবে অদম তুমসু কহে নে না তবে
Humble King Shuk says, please go close the window.
এ ঘরের জানলা কপাট দিয়া একবার শিবুন তাই প্রেমানন্দ একবার গৌর হরি হরি বল হরি বল হরি হরি
So, as you can hear, Robida is asking everyone to chant the name of Hori or Krishna with love and happiness.
In this recording, we are playing at a festival called Joydeb Mela, where Bauls and Fakirs come from all over Bengal and Bangladesh. This kind of ecstatic jamming happens all night long in hundreds of tents, all piled on top of one another for 4 days. Playing at this festival was definitely one of my favorite times of being in Bengal. That was Robidash Baul singing King Shuk Goshai's song called Amar Bhanga Ghore, meaning in my broken house. So who is this Ghorami, the elusive house builder from the song? Is he like the crazy kid in the attic telling everyone what to do? Or is she a new person in wait to be born and make a new house with 9 doors? Or is he our one true friend, our praner manus?
The Baul seek the core truth of self in their meditations. In fact, in that context, I remember a song by one of Lalon Fakir's disciple named Dusha. It says, "Je khoje manushe khoda, shei to Baul," which means he who searches for God in himself and in general in human, he's the Baul.
Yes, indeed, this seems to be the most important aspect of the Baul path. To find God or truth within the framework of one's own body. You'll hear Lalon and other poet saints refer to this internal God as the praner manus, the soulmate, or as the praner Bondhu, the heart's friend. Perhaps in the last few songs as the house builder, the Ghorami. In our last song for today, the praner manus, one's internal truth, is portrayed as the neighbor, Porshi. This song is written by Lalon Fakir and is called Barir Kache Arshinagor, meaning, near my house is a city of mirrors. Here's a recording of our Chicago-based band Achin Paki, led by my husband, singer, and co-host Shubhajit Sengupta.
বাড়ির কাছে আর শ্রীনগর এক ঘর পড়শি বসত করে এক ঘর পড়শি বসত করে আমি একদিনও না
The lyrics go, "Close to my house is the city of mirrors. There my neighbor lives in one room. Though she lives so close, I have not seen her even once."
বেড়ে অগাধ পানি নাই কিনারা নাই তরণী পারে বাঞ্ছা করি দেখব তারে বাঞ্ছা করি
Surrounding her is an endless ocean without shore, nor even a boat to cross. I wish to go see the face of my neighbor, but how can I possibly reach her?
কি বলবো পড়শির কথা হস্তপদ স্কন্ধ মাথা নাই রে ক্ষণিক থাকে শূন্যের ওপর ক্ষণিক থাকে শূন্যের ওপর ক্ষণিক ভাসে নীরে ও সে ক্ষণিক ভাসে
How shall I describe the neighbor? She has no hands, no feet, no head. Sometimes she floats above the void, and other times she stands upon the water. The following verse will go. If the neighbor would touch me even just one time, in an instant all my pain and suffering would disappear. She and Lalon are here in the same house, and yet there are 1,000 miles between them.
পড়শি যদি আমায় ছুতো জমজাত না সকল যেত দূরে সে আর লালন একখানে সে আর লালন একখানে রয় লক্ষ যোজন ফাঁক রে তবু লক্ষ যোজন ফাঁক রে আমি একদিনও না দেখিলাম তারে আমি একদিনও না দেখিলাম তারে আমি একদিনও না দেখিলাম তারে
Thanks for listening. Today you heard more songs exploring Dehototto, the theory of the body.
Please tune in for the next episode, Lalon's Liberation, where we'll discuss Manus Tattva, the theory of humanity. The songs will explore the role of religion and identity in the philosophy of the Baul and Fakir.
For a summary of the songs, composers, and artists of today's episode, as well as links to listen and learn more, please check out the show notes. This podcast series is the fruit of 2 Fulbright fellowships I undertook in West Bengal, India. Many thanks to the Fulbright-Nehru program. Special thanks also to Biplab Ghosh, Arnab Sengupta, Rina and Manosij Goswami for help in the field, to Gene Nemirovsky for audio engineering, to all the musicians and teachers who recorded for me, and to my husband and co-host Shubhajit Sengupta for making this show possible. My name is Lucia Thomas, and you've been listening to Banyan Roots, a podcast series on the Baul and Fakir, musical mystics from Bengal. Please visit Banyan Roots on www.amplasoundsradio.com to find out more.
Joy Guru.
Joy Guru.